What is going on, YouTube? Welcome in another week, another Shrine of Secrets discussion. I am LuboATM, and this is a video where we talk through all the perks on the Shrine, and I let you know whether you spend your hard-earned shards on them or not. So let's get cracking, because there are definitely perks this week. That's one thing that's on the Shrine this week, is definitely perks. Not gonna say good or bad. I'm sure that will come across in the next couple of minutes, but okay, so first of all, let's start off with Blood Echo. So when you hook a survivor, all other survivors suffer from the hemorrhage and exhaustion status effect for 45 seconds. Okay, so I'll start off with the positives of this one. This perk is a very good counter to exhaustion perks. If you struggle to deal with Dead Hard, if you struggle to deal with Sprint Burst or Lithe, then this is a very good perk for you, on the basis that this will stop people being able to use that for 45 seconds. That is the positive. So, on the other hand, it's so situational. Like, it's only after someone's hooked and you need to be able to get to someone within 45 seconds, and that someone who you get to needs to be in the situation to use their perk. So, again, it's not one that you'll see value of, because you won't know what they're running until after the game. So you just need to assume that every time you interact with someone while this perk's active, that you're getting value out of it, which might not be the case. It can save you some time in chase if people can't use Dead Hard, for example. But again, if you hook someone and you're not running, for example, barbecue and chili, and you don't know where anyone is after you hook someone, and you spend 20 seconds trying to find someone, then you've got 25 seconds to get use out of this perk. And if they're not injured already, then you're getting virtually no use out of this perk other than stopping life and sprint burst for 25 seconds. It also has a horrendous cooldown of 80 seconds, which is a really long cooldown in between uses. You're not going to have that amount of time between or you shouldn't be having that amount of time between hook stakes all the way through the match for all 12 of your hooks. So yeah, that's Blood Echo for a start. Second one is Buckle Up. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Basically, Buckle Up tells you, or gives you, the ability to see how much someone is recovered when they're in the dying state by the intensity of their aura. So again, this to me is a perk. So I'm going to stick to positive first and then talk about the flip side. So the positive of this is that if you're in a position where a killer has slugged your entire team, or has slugged a couple of members of your team, you can use this perk to know who to prioritize to go in for the save, or to know to go in for the save at all, because they might not have recovered at all. So yeah, that will give you that information that you wouldn't have had elsewhere. On the flip side, it's incredibly situational. If you're not playing against a killer that slugs, then you're not going to get any use out of it. And I don't know, I just think if you played Dead by Daylight for any period of time, then you would know to go for probably the person who's been downed first, if it's safe to do so, because they've probably been recovering longer, and therefore they're going to be the one that you'll be able to heal quickest. That would just be my 2 cents on it. When you've healed, like, obviously when you've healed them, you can see the killer's aura as well, which is, it gives you something good. But if a killer is slugging and there's 2 survivors slugged in close proximity, then the killer's probably going to be within that vicinity. Very, very rarely does a killer slug someone and then disappear at the other end of the map, you know what I mean? So I think it's incredibly situational, and I'll leave it at that. It's incredibly situational, and I think that just using general common sense will help you with this. Will do what this perk does for you. Also, I suppose it counteracts the fact for people who don't recover and crawl away, and you go up to save them and assume that they've recovered, and they haven't, and then you end up taking a hit or going down because of it. And that's, if people do that, just don't do that. Recover first and then crawl. Don't crawl away first and then try and recover, because you're just putting your teammates in jeopardy, especially if you're not on comms and can't tell them that that's what you're doing. So yeah, that's Buckle Up. So Forced Penance is next. The Execution are teachable. Survivors who take a protection hit are inflicted with a broken status effect for 60 seconds. So first of all, again, positives. If somebody, obviously, broken stats effect means they can't heal for 60 seconds. So if you're in a position where you've had someone take a protection hit, you know that if you can commit them to a chase, they can't use a syringe or a septic agent to insta heal. within that time period. If you've hit someone while you're carrying someone to hook, you know you have a window of about 60 seconds to chase down anyone who's taking protection hits, because you know they can't heal. That's great. So that's two good uses for this perk. For me, the drawback to this are, if someone has ran in front of, like, dive bombed in front of a survivor to take a hit for them when they're injured, you've already taken a health state off them. So the realistic thing is that you're either going to commit to the chase that you're on to get the other person downed, or you're going to change your focus and chase the person who took the protection hit. Either way, you're committed to a chase, and that other person being broken for 60 seconds isn't going to do much for you, because you're already going to be in a chase. By the time if you're sticking with the first guy, you've downed that person and put them on a hook, you probably only have maybe 20 30 seconds left by the time you've went through the whole process of down, hook, and then start another chase or find someone else. So you're not really getting a lot of time for that one. Or if you're committing to that chase, then you know they're probably not going to be healing anyway because you're in a chase with them. So you've already taken a health state, they're already going to be one shot downed, and if you've committed them to a chase, then you know they're not going to be healing anyway, so the fact that they're broken doesn't really change anything. Again, this one's probably more going to be if you're carrying someone and you're up against a survivor with friends or something, or people who like to run in front of the killer to try and get you to drop them. If you hit someone there, they'll be broken, so if you hook that person, you've then got a window to go chase whoever's taking the hit. But again, it's like the other two perks that we've talked about, it's completely situational. Like, you could put this on and you could get value out it 1 game out of 10, and you don't get anything out of it for the other 9. So that's again, that would be my drawback for this perk. Again, same with Buckle Up, it's so situational. And the final perk on the shrine this week is Visionary. So this basically gives you the ability to see generators within 32 meters, but it deactivates after a generator is completed for 20 seconds. So this basically is along the same lines as the Zancian tactics from last week. If you've played the game for any amount of time or a lot of hours, then you roughly know where generators spawn in the maps. You know what tiles to go to for generators. So seeing the aura of generators isn't particularly helpful for you. And the one, and even if that was the case and you didn't know where any gens were, the one time where you would want to know where a generator is when you've just completed one and you need to move to another one, which this takes away from you for 20 seconds. So you're going to probably run around for 20 seconds, find one, because it won't take you 20 seconds to find another generator, and then this will come back on and it'll show you the generators nearby. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't, I don't see the value in it at all. If I'm being honest, I can't even say, oh, this is it. The positive is, if you're new to the game and you don't know where generators spawn, this is a good perk for you. But for anyone else in the game, it is a complete waste. So yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about Visionary. I just don't think it's a good perk. I don't think it does a lot for you, and I certainly wouldn't spend 2,700 shards on it. So that's the perks this week, guys. I honestly would recommend that you don't buy any of these, unless you're just trying to get all teachables, or no, that would be it. Unless you're trying to get all teachables, I wouldn't buy any of these. For example, I don't have 2 of these because I've not leveled up Felix yet, and I have Ash's other 2, and I don't want Buckle Up. So yeah, I just wouldn't. I would spend your shards, if you have one already, spend it on the blood points, or wait till next week. I honestly wouldn't buy any of these this week. If that's just my opinion. If I was put in a position where I said that you would have to pick one, I would say go for Blood Echo, because it's probably the most beneficial out of the 4. And from the Survivor one, if you had to pick between the 2, I'd pick Buckle Up over Visionary, because at least you'll get some use out of that at some point. So there we go. That's this week's shrine. So thanks for tuning in again. As always, please like and share the video. Please subscribe to the channel. It all helps me get me up the directory and helps with algorithms, which is great. Come check me out on Twitch. I stream there a couple of nights a week at twitch.tv/LiboATM. I'll actually be streaming on there tonight, playing some of the new killer. Yeah, and until I see you again, peace out.